What's up, guys? Welcome to the video all things football and wrestling. So, what's been going on in WWE over the last couple of days? So, Money in the Bank. What a show that was. Obviously, Money in the Bank was great. I enjoyed it. For the most part. The only thing I wasn't too happy about is the fact that Seth Rollins actually won Money in the Bank. Because I kind of feel like LA Knight should have won it. I can't be the only one who thinks that LA Knight should have actually won the men's Money in the Bank ladder match this year. And instead of someone like Seth Rollins or a Solo Sikoa, I'm just wondering like how long it's going to be before we actually see Seth attempt at hashing his Money in the Bank contract. I don't think that Seth Rollins is gonna, is one of these wrestlers who's gonna wait too long to hash in the Money in the Bank. I think he'll hash in very, very quickly. I won't be surprised if he actually, hashes in tonight. Um, because see it. Obviously, Monday Night Raw is going to be interesting tonight. We've got Nikki Bella making her return to Monday Night Raw tonight. Can't wait to see that. It would be huge to see, Nikki and Brie at Evolution. Obviously, wouldn't mind seeing them go on another little run in WWE. Right, obviously, we've got the Jay Gunther World Heavyweight Championship match tonight as well. Big match for Jay. I feel like there's going to be some sort of shenanigans in that match. I feel like, something's going to happen there with Seth. I feel like he is going to cash in. I don't know. I love the fact that Naomi won the Women's Money in the Bank contract. Now, I know a lot of people probably weren't too happy about that, but I do think that the WWE did the right thing by having Naomi win it. And I hope that when Naomi hashes in her Money in the Bank contract, I hope that she has, it's a successful passion. But I wouldn't mind seeing Naomi have a run with the women's title. I don't think that she'll hash in on Io Sky. I think she's definitely going to be hashing in on Tiffany. I think we all know that. I can't see that I can't see, why Naomi would hash in on Io Sky. I do think she'll definitely hash in on Tiffany. I think that's a given. That she's going to hash in on Tiffany Stratton at some point. We don't know when, but it'll be this week. We don't know. But a big talking point that came out from Money in the Bank is the return of Ron R-Truth Hillings. Now, this was huge. Obviously, we saw someone coming into the ring, with their hood up, attack John Cena, and it turned out to be R-Truth. Now, I'm a bit confused here. Did we get worked there, or did WWE re-sign him because of all of the backlash they were getting over the fact they released him? I think that was probably the case. I think that it was probably more of a case of the WWE choosing to re-sign him purely because of the backlash they got when it was announced last week that he'd been released. Obviously, everyone was, stunned, and was absolutely shell-shocked by this news that he'd been released. And I saw it last week, like the reaction online across, a lot of social media platforms was very, very bad from WWE. It was very, very bad from, it was very, very bad from, um, fans. You could see just how angry the fans were at the fact that they had done this. I was fuming, absolutely fuming when I saw that the news that R-Truth had been released. I was absolutely. I'm a massive R-Truth fan, and I always have been. So the fact that one of my favourite wrestlers had gotten released, I was like, what WWE doing? And I think that the negative like the backlash they got has prompted them to resign him. And if they've re-signed him, then that's fantastic. You can't let someone like R-Truth go. We know that for sure. Obviously, obviously we know that WrestleMania is returning to Las Vegas next year. So, but I think that's the first time that we've seen the same location hold back-to-back WrestleManias. don't think we've ever seen that before. Um, I think that obviously it was originally meant to be in New Orleans, but obviously they changed it and it's now going to be in Las Vegas again next year, WrestleMania 42. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens on the lead up to obviously with all the in the ring tournaments returning. Obviously, I think the finals will be held at Night of Champions, which is good. At least we are getting we are getting those tournaments this year. You can't not have those. I wonder when we're gonna get the WWE draft. But I'm assuming that will be happening before SummerSlam. Also, I mean, I don't know if I don't think it will happen after SummerSlam. I think it will happen before. Um, I don't. I mean, could it be next month that we get the draft? We get it in early August. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. Um, that's what I can really say. We just have to wait and see. So moving on to football now. So obviously a lot of transfer talk. Garnacho to Arsenal. Well, I mean, why would Arsenal want to sign someone like Garnacho? That's my big question. I feel like there's better players that Arsenal can sign than Alejandro Garnacho. Let's just put it that way. So all my opinion, I mean, do I hope that we get the Embuemo and Jokeres deals done? Hell yes, I do. I think, I'll absolutely buzz it if we get the Embuemo and Jokeres deals across the line. Hopefully we do that soon. Hopefully we do get those across the line. Because I think it would give us as fans something to look forward to next season. I mean, a front three of Hunya, Jokeres, Embuemo, that could be very interesting next season. If both Jokeres was banning in the goals for Sporting Lisbon this season. Hunya's been really, really good for Wolves this season, you have to admit. And Embuemo's been brilliant with Brentford this season. That front three there of Hunya, Jokeres, and Embuemo could be deadly next season. It could be better than the front three we've been playing with, that we've got now. I would be over the moon as a United fan if we can get those two deals across the line, and I feel like we can do that. These two deals are something I'm very optimistic about and I'm very excited about, because I feel like there's a very good chance that they will happen. I think we'd be stupid to let these deals go. If we can get Embuemo and Jokeres done, that's a huge win for us, to get, obviously we need to focus on the new goalkeeper because we can't have Onana again next season. There's no way, you know, to finish with Andre Onana is he's not someone that we can rely on, and that is what we need is a goalkeeper that we can actually rely on. So obviously, a lot of people talking about Tottenham, Ange Postecoglou was sacked, and it looks like Thomas Frank is the number one target for Tottenham to take over from Ange Postecoglou. And to be honest with you, I kind of feel like Tottenham did the wrong thing by sacking Ange Postecoglou. You got to think about it, right? The reason that Tottenham was so bad last season is they were wrecked. Tottenham were wrecked by injuries last season. And this season just gone. They lost a lot of key players. That affected them massively. You can't really blame Ange for the fact that so many players went out injured. You know, that happens in football, and it was, it did obviously massively affect Tottenham. But there you go. I mean, you've got to think about the fact that he's obviously won the Europa League with Tottenham, their first major trophy in 17 years, and he's just got the sack. It's actually crazy. And I saw that they were talking about Hiram McKenna potentially taking over from Brentford, obviously the current Ipswich Town boss. Would Hiram McKenna really be a good fit for Brentford though? I don't know. I mean, Hiram McKenna is not one of those players, not one of those people. I mean, I'm not saying that he would do a bad job at Brentford. Yeah, obviously he didn't manage to keep Ipswich up, but I think it was always going to be very difficult for Ipswich Town to stay up. Just because he got relegated with Ipswich doesn't mean he can't do a good job with Brentford. But I think Kieran McKenna would do a pretty decent job with Brentford, to be fair. If I'm being honest. Um, so obviously it's been talks about obviously the obviously a lot of big transfers going on. Um, it's a crazy time. Obviously, some sad news that came out from the footballing world today. The first ever black Premier League referee, Uriah Rennie, very sadly passed away at the age of 65. Oh, he actually passed. I think he passed away. I'm not sure. I think he passed away today. His death was announced today. 65 years old. Um, first ever black referee in football. That's huge. Imagine it. That's crazy. The fact he was the first ever black referee in football. Holy crap. So rest in peace to him, Uriah Rennie. Obviously, sleep well, I should say. Um, so yeah, obviously a major time, obviously for United with all these these transfer talks. I don't think there is a United fan that isn't isn't excited by the possibility of the fact that Mbuemo and Gyökeres come to United. The fact that we are in with a chance of signing Gyökeres when we didn't even get European football is huge. When I look at United, I think why would any player want to sign for a team that has that it didn't even get European football last season. That didn't even get European football last season. You know, I mean, then it just goes to show that all is not lost. You know, I'm shocked, to be honest with you, by the fact that we're still in a chance of signing it, whereas I still can't really get my head around that, to be honest. Mbuemo, I'd happily take a Brian Mbuemo every day of the week. Same with Victor Gyökeres. Who wouldn't want to take him at United? He's a brilliant player. And if we sign him, holy shit. If we could get those three signings done, get a new midfielder in, and then also get a new goalkeeper in, we are talking 30 this season. Or should I say, we will be hitting. That would really, at the moment, this current transfer window, I would probably give it around about, I'd maybe give it a 6.5 out of 10. Signing and Bromo and Gyökeres would probably get it up to, for me, get it up to about an 8. And then signing a new midfielder and a new goalkeeper would get it, would make that the perfect 10 for me. That would make it the perfect 10 out of 10. If get the deals for Bueno and Gyökeres done and also bringing a new midfielder and a new goalkeeper, I'm happy. I just don't want Onana in goal next season because he's not a goalkeeper we can rely on. The guy makes so many sloppy mistakes near enough every single game he plays. I'd rather, if it was announced tomorrow that Onana was actually leaving the club, I'd be flipping dancing around this room in ecstasy. Because I'd be glad to see him go. He's not a player that he's not a player that I would want to stay at. I'd want to have it. I'd want to have it United next season. I'd rather him move elsewhere and we can get a new goalkeeper. I know there's been talks about Vanya Milinkovic-Savic, the goalkeeper from I think the Lazio. He plays for Torino. I can't remember which one he plays for. I've also seen there's been talks about Emi Martinez coming into United as well. That could be a big signing. Possibly maybe even Marc-Andre ter Stegen. I wouldn't mind taking Marc-Andre ter Stegen at Manchester United if we could get him. I really wouldn't mind that. Anyone that who isn't called Andre Onana is fine by me. it doesn't matter who they are as long as their name's not flipping Andre Onana. If we don't get a new goalkeeper and we're playing him and we're playing him next season and we got him in goal next season, we're fucked. We are fucked if we still have Onana next season. I mean, yeah, we might have. We'll still. I mean, obviously, we will probably, have an absolutely flipping incredible front three next season. And that the next, the front three that we could have next season is cracking. But we'd still have a shit goalkeeper. Now a goalkeeper in goal is absolutely shite. And that's the gravitas of it, really. Is that even if if we had him in goal, he would be shite, probably. I hate to say it, but it's true. If we had him in goal next season, he would be shite. So obviously, going back to the wrestling news, I wanted to just want to send my thoughts out to the Nature Boy Ric Flair. He recently revealed that he's got skin cancer, which sucks. And I do wish him a good recovery from that. I'm surprised we didn't get. I think a lot of people thought that Money in the Bank we were going to get Roman Reigns. I mean, obviously we had Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker come out to try and help Sarah. Jake and File 2 came out and turned on Solo Sikoa, which I think we all know was going to happen sooner rather than later. I mean, I'm happy for Becky Lynch that she won the IC title. I mean, good, it's good for her. Obviously, the second women to hold the Intercontinental Championship after Lyra. I mean, but I wonder when. But I was thinking the other day. I wonder when Bailey is gonna be back. Like, there's so many names that are still missing. Obviously, we're still waiting for Tamatonga. I think it's Tonga Loa. We're still waiting for. I think he should be too far off of returning now. Tonga Loa. And I think they did say June originally. I think they did say around June that he'd be back around June time. So it can't be too far off of making a return. We're also waiting on Oscar as well. There's not really been any updates on that one when she'll be back. Ilya Dragunov as well. They did say that he probably won't be medicated until around September. So we're still, we are still around 3 months or so off of Ilya Dragunov being released, being medically cleared, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Still, obviously, we don't know. I don't. It hasn't really been confirmed. I mean, we're missing Tamatonga as well. He won't be back for a while. Heaven Owens is obviously probably not. They're not going to be back until next year. I reckon he'll definitely be out for the rest of the year. I can't see that he'll be back before the end of this year, to be honest. We're still missing. I mean, obviously, we've got Heidi Sane back. She recently returned. I mean, there's a lot of names that are missing because of injury that still yet to come back. Apollo Crews as well, not back until next month. To be honest, I'm surprised that he's a name that I'm surprised hasn't been released. Apollo Crews. Like, why have they kept Apollo Crews on the roster? When they're not doing anything with. How they? This is what baffles me. How has someone like Apollo Crews not already been released by WWE? I mean, I don't get it. The guy's been doing fuck all for, WWE. Even when Vince McMahon was in charge of WWE, he never did anything with Apollo Crews. I'm surprised that Vince didn't release him. Triple H as well. Like, you think Triple H probably would have released him, he hasn't. So surely they must have some sort of faith in Apollo Crews if they've not actually released him. And it just baffles me. But I'm glad they brought back R-Truth. They only did that though because of the backlash they got. That's the only reason they've actually brought him back. If they hadn't have got so much backlash from people on social media for the fact they released R-Truth, they would not have brought him back. They would have said fuck you and they wouldn't have bothered to resign him. But they knew how pissed off the fans were and they made that excuse to resign him. You saw how pissed off fans were the other night on the last week on Raw when they were actually chanting "We want R-Truth." They were all chanting "We want R-Truth." That proves the point that fans weren't happy about it, and there we go. But yeah, we'll see what happens anyway. But yeah, but that's great news. So I'll see you. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.